All right, I'm the wide receiving core now that I've gone through 4 teams to find one.
It was a struggle.
Well, because I was like, at first I picked the Rams, and I was like, nah, after that
They're going
talking.
to be even worse than last
And I was
year.
like, oh, I'll write down Philly in the last episode. You're like, and my preview for the next pick. I was like, oh, well, that one's gone. So, all right, are you ready to do this?
Yes.
All right, let's do it. Hello, everybody. Welcome to 2M Football.
I'm Mike.
I'm Matt.
I'm Mike. Oh. Go on.
And now we're moving on to our comeback wide receiving cores of the NFL. At first, we were going to do a wide receiver, but it was easier to think of it as a whole because this is one part of a team that has to function together.
Right. You can't have just one good wide receiver.
Or you could have 2 if you're Denver and just have them be fanatic beasts.
Uh-huh.
But that's a rare.
Right, so we're looking at groups, wide receiver groups as a whole, and I forgot to start the timer again. It's tradition now.
It's tradition.
Wide receiver groups as a whole that are going to be much improved this year over last year.
And Mike's pick is the Los Angeles Rams. No, I'm kidding.
They're one of the few. Well, we'll do a similar thing with regression candidates.
Wow, way to...
As bad as the Rams were last year, they'll probably be on the list, but we'll see. That's for another day.
Dun, dun, dun. Epic
All right,
foreshadowing.
You want me to get started?
Sure.
All right, so I have 2. It's not really a tie, but I just wanted to talk about both of them. Number 1 is the Philadelphia Eagles. And as I mentioned a little bit in the comeback quarterback show, the Eagles had 0 wide receivers last year. Their leading receivers were Nelson Aguilar and Dorial Green Beckham. Jordan Matthews was there. They had 1 receiver. But as we said at the beginning, you can't function with just 1 good wide receiver, and that's what they had. So this offseason, they went out and added Alshon Jeffrey from the Bears and Torrey Smith, formerly of the Ravens and 49ers. And the addition of those 2 guys gives them strong outside threats. Torrey Smith is a deep threat, and Jeffrey, he can do anything, but he's that classic big-bodied receiver who can make back shoulder catches, fade routes, and these 2 both add a lot to this team. And having these guys playing on the outside will allow Jordan Matthews to move back to the slot, which is where he played his rookie season, which was his most effective.
He's a much better slot receiver.
Mm-hmm. So that's going to be better for him, and adding these 2 guys is all going to vastly improve this group. So here's the one thing that could cause us all to come crashing down, and that's injuries to Alshon Jeffrey, which unfortunately has become a bit of a pattern for him. I think that's a big part of why the Bears decided to let him go. Because over the past 2 seasons, he's had a lot of hamstring problems that forced him to miss a combined 11 games in those 2 seasons. Yeah, you can't... he's not going to put up numbers for you if he's not on the field. Well, he will. It's just going to be 0.
Oh, never mind.
And
I was thinking of something else.
If Jeffrey were to go down, that would significantly weaken this group again because Matthews would have to go back outside, and Torrey Smith is not a number 1 receiver. He's getting up there in age a little bit. He still has his speed, but that's really always been his thing, is as a deep threat and not much else. So Jeffrey is sort of the key to all this. But if he stays healthy, this is going to be a great receiving group, and it's going to help this offense bounce back in a big way.
I'm paying attention.
No, Matt's over there drawing high fires and stuff.
Is that trademarked? I don't care.
Ty as in T-Y.
Hilton?
Yes. Well, no, I won't spoil it. Okay, so my other wide receiving core
Were
group.
you going to comment on my TIE Fighter drawings? Is that where you're actually going?
No,
Oh.
no. It was going to be about T.Y.,
Oh,
Hilton.
oh, okay.
the football player.
Oh.
So my other group I have up here is the Giants, New York
Ooh.
Giants. I know they were already pretty good last year, but
No, I like it. Because I know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Proceed.
So sadly, Victor Cruz just wasn't the same player he used to be.
He can still salsa, though.
He can. Maybe he should go on Dancing with the Stars or something.
He probably will. Come on, that's where all these football
That's true.
players are going.
That's a thing now. So they
Conveniently, they're all former wide receivers.
they cut him, except for David Ross, the Cubs catcher. Okay, this is a football show. Sorry.
I give you the death glare.
Yeah, I'm all too used to that. Okay, so Cruz is gone, and they brought in Brandon Marshall. Whoa. I was looking away for a few seconds, I looked up, and Matt was giving me something even scarier than the death stare. So, This wide receiver core now has Beckham, who we know is just amazing, Brandon Marshall, and Sterling Shepard, who was a rookie slot receiver last year, and he did really well in that role. And as we always say, the Giants run more three wide receiver sets than any other team in the league.
I had faith you could get through that.
And they have three top 20 receivers, I'd say, in Beckham, Marshall, and Shepard. So here's the issue that this team could have, and
this is where I knew you were going with.
Yeah. This is the main reason I want to talk about that. And it would be drama between Marshall and Beckham. These are guys that both have big personalities, a little bit diva-like at times. And
It's either way it's gonna be entertaining, but it's either gonna be the greatest decision this team has made, or it's just going to be the worst decision this team has ever made. Either way, it's gonna be entertaining.
It's going to be really fun to watch. But if these guys can
Work
both
together.
kind of keep their egos in check a little bit, especially Marshall. I'm actually more worried about Marshall because as the older guy,
He has
would
that
want-
sense of superiority, like the alpha male.
yeah, he would want more respect in the locker room and stuff. And then you've got Beckham, who's almost 10 years younger, but
Has about the same amount of skill, I'd say.
I'd say he's better, honestly. But it's a little bit different what they do.
They have
But-
they have very good complementary skill sets, and then you have the leadership that Marshall can exhibit, but does he want to?
And would Beckham allow to be led by someone who he thinks by anyone, honestly?
No.
So that's what's going to be the issue here because if these two guys don't get along,
Let's just put it into perspective. The day he got signed and walked into that locker room, he made a Twitter post that I love when Mike recites this.
yeah, it's so funny. You want me to do it?
Oh, please do.
Sure. It was so this was Marshall tweeted, "If I was on the team, that boat trip would have never happened."
This is the day you get signed to a new team. That's not how you start it.
That's making a statement like I'm going to come in here and tell you guys how to do your jobs, kind of, which can't sit right with everyone else.
Not only that, but let's be completely honest. Look at the teams you've been on.
He's been on a lot of teams, first of all, which is a sign.
And secondly, have any of them really been outstanding? Or had more than 1 year of really standout success? Was he on the
Yeah.
06 Bears?
No, he wasn't there yet.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that's a good point.
I mean, their whole hopes of bringing him to Chicago was to give Cutler somebody he played with at one point to get the Bears to the Super Bowl, and the Bears got worse.
I mean, they played well together. They were productive, but the Bears had. I mean, we could have a whole show on the Bears' problems. But anyway, so the point is, this could be, like Matt said, the greatest decision if everyone works well together. Because
I think the New York Giants' new tagline should be the most dramatic show on earth.
It is New York, so it's going to be a circus either way. So yeah, Giants could be the best receiving core in the league next year. If Marshall returns to form, he was bad last year. He had a lot of drops. He missed some time with injuries. He just did not look good. But he probably wasn't motivated because he was playing with Bryce Petty, I believe, by the end of the season. He had Fitzpatrick for a while, Geno Smith for a while, and then,
But to me, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is. That means you should be motivated to help them even more then.
he should be.
Well, yeah.
But the Jets weren't going anywhere. He's a veteran. Now he's somewhere where there's a team that
Has
has
great-
a winning culture. They're in the playoffs a lot. And so I think he will be
They
motivated.
beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl, which I still find hilarious.
Yeah, so Eagles and Giants, those are my receiving cores that I think will be much improved next
I have much less to say because this core that I picked already has great form. It just has a few tweaks in it that I think are huge. And I picked the Indianapolis Colts. 2 reasons. Mike's boy, Kamar Aiken, is now a member of that team.
Best free agency move all year. Just kidding.
I really think if they shore up that offensive line, even though T.Y. Hilton, and I didn't know this, led the league in receiving yards. He's a Colt for those of you who didn't put this all together.
That's what I was going to say earlier when you said T.Y., as in T.Y. Hilton, but I didn't want to spoil it, so I wanted to let you give that stat.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you.
Uh-huh.
That's very, very kind of you.
Yes.
You're all right, Mike. You know what?
Thanks,
You're all right.
thanks, man. Means a lot.
I have gray hair, but you're all right. So with the addition of Aiken, that's a great additional weapon, a young weapon too for this team. And I think with shoring up the offensive line, leaving Luck and Moncrief to heal up, with Luck better protected, it's going to result in these receivers having more catches because instead of Luck being sacked and going backwards every other play, that will actually be getting the ball and going downfield. And I think it's one of those tandems that you can't argue doesn't play off of one another. The quarterback's doing well, the receivers do well. The quarterback struggles, the receivers aren't going to have much going for them. Mm-hmm. So I think it's directly tied. And with Luck being better protected, healthy, and having Moncrief back again, this receiving core is going to have a bunch of weapons at its disposal. You have Jack Doyle in the tight end position. They have running back. They have
Frank Gore.
Well,
Robert Turbin.
There
That's
we go.
The guy you like.
I can think of his name because I knew Frank Gore, but he's getting there in age, and I think they're going to balance out his playing time a little bit more with Turbin, just to keep him on the field all year. So I really think that this wide receiving group is going to see a much better production. It's not just going to be all about T.Y. Hilton. Mm-hmm. With Moncrief, if he stays healthy, and I think Aiken, as you pointed out, is a great addition to this team. And what has it... Let me formulate a proper sentence here.
That'd be a first.
Right? I really think the time is now. If this team has an opportunity to make it to the Super Bowl, they need to do it now, within the next few years, because Luck is not going to last much longer at the rate he's going. He's not that old, but he's not that young, and he's been sacked an awful lot. Mm-hmm. And he's got the receiving core to get this done now. That's all I really have to say. It was more as an offense as a whole, but I think this team really plays together. Mm-hmm. It's not just a receiving core versus the tight ends and running backs. It's really this offense works together more than any other team. And it all starts with Luck.
Cool. So I think that's a wrap on our wide receiver core comeback candidates.
Woo-hoo.
And yeah, I don't know what we'll do next. We'll pick another position and do the same thing.
We have a dartboard.
Just like with our draft picks, we have a dartboard for what our show is going to be about.
Thunk. Looks like cornerbacks are next. No,
right.
I'm kidding.
Oh.
I have no idea.
Okay.
But so stay tuned. We'll figure it out. Maybe eventually. If not, we'll just wing it. Because that's what we do best on this show.
Yeah, totally.
Thank you all for watching, listening, participating. Participating by commenting would be appreciated. We really want to hear what you guys think about all this.
Yeah, how do you think the Marshall Beckham thing is going to go?
Other than
down?
Hysterically.
Yep.
I am so excited. I'm not a Giants fan, but I'm really excited to see how this move plays out.
Uh-huh.
Especially for a young coach like McAdoo, because he had his hands full with Beckham as is. Now you're adding Marshall to the mix.
Uh-huh.
It's like the owners are like, let's see what this guy can do.
Just make sure they have extra kicker nets on the sideline so Beckham doesn't decide to take out his frustration on Marshall directly.
Or Marshall beat him with a freaking kicker's knife. Like the headphones.
Right. That was the other New York, but yeah.
We will see you next time, guys.
See ya.